Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about altcoins, gonna move some crypto around for you guys and open up some wallets. I got a new wallet from Tangem. So one of their, what do they call this thing? Vivid. It's gonna be cool. And then I got a couple of little things I want to show you. I did a migration, and a lot of people ask me questions about things like that. Migration is when you take a seed phrase from a previous hardware wallet and then restore it into a new wallet. It's basically a restore, but when you can think of it as a migration because you're actually like moving all of the wallets from the old device onto the new device. We're not moving crypto, right? We're just pointing the new wallet to the existing crypto. So I'm going to talk about that tonight. And then I've got my Ledger Stax. I'm sorry. I've got my Ledger Flex and my Ledger Stax here. So we're going to play around with those tonight. There's some interesting features I wanted to point out. If you haven't decided that these are better, maybe this little demo will show you that there are some additional features that are sort of hiding under the hood. Someone like me notices them because I play around with wallets a lot. But in a situation where you need these features, you might want to think about getting a wallet like this. Anywho, I've got a special guest here tonight. Joining us. We're going to interview him later. Hopefully he won't roll over on the keyboard and make mayhem. But yeah, Kitty's here tonight. And as you can see, I've got the table set up here. And I tested the camera. Hopefully we aren't going to have any trouble with the camera tonight. So once again, I want to thank, oops. All right, so I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Let's go over and greet everyone. Hopefully we won't have any trouble with the mics or the cameras tonight. So I want to thank Kenny for being here. Pardon me, Kenny was here early. Andreas was here early. W is here. Dan is here. Thanks for being here, Dan. Amsterdam, Holland. Dusted in Shadow. Thank you so much for being here again, everyone. Mr. Miski. Amsterdam, Holland. If I didn't say, I think I said hello to you already. Mark Schlossberg, I'm glad to hear that your issue got solved. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. There's always a workaround, whether you use a bridge or you just swap back to a token that's depositable, if you want to use that word, on an exchange. A lot of times you can do that within MetaMask or even swapping within Tangem Wallet. You can swap to a token that is can be accepted on an exchange, or the token itself that you're trying to convert, if you can find an exchange that will accept the network format that you're dealing with. And I believe Mark had his in Phantom Chain, and Binance or Binance US, looks like Binance proper, was not allowing him to deposit BNB in Phantom Chain format, which is kind of weird, but I'm glad you got that straightened out. I appreciate you letting everybody know. Amoff Podcast, thank you for being here. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Mobile Android, good to have you here. FMK, Yemi Stone. Can we choose which UTXOs to send from Tangem Wallet? I don't know that there's a fine control over UTXOs in Tangem. My guess is no, but that's a little involved. I don't know that I would want to try to dive into that in the middle of the live stream. When I'm live, I have trouble exploring things that I've never tried before, but usually when there's a question like that, after the cameras go off, I figure it out in like 3 minutes. But when I'm live, it's like tough for me to jump into that kind of stuff. So anyway, for those of you who have never been in the stream before, I've got a little rundown of stuff we're going to do tonight. The market news is not great. We won't spend a lot of time on the market. Let's just enjoy ourselves, relax. I've got some good demos set up for you guys. Oh, look, I couldn't get it in time. Kitty left. He got bored. My latest video is Flex versus Stax. I had a lot of requests for this one. As you know, last week at the Bitcoin conference, Ledger announced the new Flex and also announced that Ledger Stax was available for pre-order again, right? There were people that pre-ordered it back in 1927 or whenever it was, and they were only filling pre-orders. But last week they announced that, yeah, you can start pre-ordering them now. Supposedly they'll ship in September. I already had a Stax. I got my Stax that I pre-ordered back in 2022, whenever it was. And so I've done several setup videos on the Ledger Stax, which you can check out on my channel. So I already had a setup video for Stax. They sent me the Flex. Before I even went to Nashville, they had sent me the Flex, and I was not allowed to say anything about it under penalty of death. But I did start recording my setup and unboxing before I went to Nashville. So when I got back, all I had to do was edit. So I have setup videos for both of these wallets, but of course everyone's asking me what's the difference. So I think I did a pretty good job of explaining the difference between the two wallets. So I invite you to check out that video if you're interested. My verdict was I prefer the Stax. It's just a superior device. And yes, it's expensive, but if you're hodling more than a couple of $1,000s worth of crypto, it makes sense just to get the best wallet you can get to keep it safe, right? So, if you've only got a couple of grand in the crypto, that $400 could probably aid you in buying more crypto, right? But if you've got 50 grand worth of crypto on the line, what's $400? Anywho, let's see here. Let's jump into the news real quick so we can get to our demo stuff. Let's see and it's crazy. We're looking at 60,649 at the moment, and all of the stories that I've put down in the description. Oh, by the way, God, I skipped over that. Everything that I'm talking about, you can see in the description. Oops, this is it. Pardon me. We've got affiliate links for all these wallets that we're going to be doing tonight. You can pre-order a Tangem Ring. We've got Trezor Save 5, Bitcoin only and multi-coin edition. Trezor Keep Metal, which is a great way to store your seed phrase in a very waterproof, fireproof, robust format, let's say it that way, right, instead of paper. And then Trezor Expert. Trezor is really coming in, trying to help people onboard their crypto custody, right, their crypto wallets. This is great. All these affiliates and news linked, right? So check out the news links if you want to hear more about any of these stories that I'm talking about. But it's a mixed bag, right? So we've got BTC price slumps to 62K. This was 8 hours ago, and we're already down flirting with 60,000. So this story is a bit outdated. But that's where we stand today. Sought to reclaim 62,000 on August 3rd, which was today, inched higher after a fresh liquidation cascade. Data from Cointelegraph's Market Pro and TradingView showed a 3% BTC price rebound taking shape after the fresh weekly lows of 60,400 on Bitstamp. These accompanied a grim day for stocks worldwide. So we're talking about a worldwide stock and risk assets sell-off, and that's kind of dragging the crypto sector down, right? So crazy stuff going on in the world today. Financial mayhem and brink of war stuff and all kinds of politics flying around back and forth. So a lot of macro factors involved in all of this, right? Liquidations mounted as a result of key support, all that stuff. We had what they call a bad jobs report yesterday, which is weird because these last couple of years, it's been good news is bad news. Bad news is good news. Well, yesterday, bad news was bad news, right? We had a bad jobs report and it was bad news for the stocks and they fell, right? Even though that raised the odds of a Fed rate hike, rate hike in September. Pardon me, I believe most traders out there had priced in a September rate hike. So whatever, right? And I think they had priced it in at 0.5. Who knows? They may do 0.75 if things go crazy, right? Who knows? So anyway, markets are crazy. Let's see what else we got here. Now, it's funny because this story used to say Bitcoin tumbles as Donald Trump victory odds slide. But when I pull it up, it's got a new headline now. It says Bitcoin plunges more than 10% since hitting 70K 72 hours ago. Now, this story was from the 1st, a couple of days ago. Yeah, I mean, after the Bitcoin conference, we were flirting with 70,000. It might have gone over 70,000 on a couple of exchanges. Things were looking great coming into the week. There were high hopes after the Bitcoin conference where Donald Trump spoke well of Bitcoin, RFK Jr. spoke well of Bitcoin, and it looked like those positive campaign promises for Bitcoin were going to sort of leak over into the Democrat Party, and that Bitcoin would no longer really be a matter of politics, right? It'd be every politician or every party would be pro-Bitcoin, because why not, right? But it doesn't seem that way. And according to this, the odds of Donald Trump winning in November have just gone down because Biden pulled out of the race and Kamala Harris took his place. And so suddenly the odds of Donald winning have gone down against Kamala. And you know me, guys, I don't like to talk about politics on this live stream. Red, blue, black, purple, green, orange. I'm more orange, right? I'm Bitcoin. But I gotta say this. I don't know why they chose her for their candidate. She pulled out of the Democratic primaries in 2020 before the first primary. She was polling like 1% among Democrats. So I think they were sort of forced to do it because the campaign funds that had gone into Biden's coffer, it would have been legally tricky to transfer those to another candidate besides Kamala. So I think they were kind of stuck with her, even though it's a little tricky already. I think the Trump campaign is challenging the fact that she's got access to that money. So strange things happen in politics. And I'll go ahead and say this too. I'm not talking politics good or politics bad, right? Or politicians or parties or whatever. I'm not taking a political stand. I'm just talking about politicians. One of my favorite lines from Forrest Gump was at the beginning, where Forrest Gump got his special leg braces, and the doctor said his legs are strong, but his back is as crooked as a politician. And that just goes to show that, nobody likes politicians, right? But I'll just say this. They bring candidates back as if we have no memory. It's like we forgot that she dropped out of the primaries in 2020 because she was polling at 1%. When Newt Gingrich ran on the Republican ticket, we forgot that he had withdrawn from Congress in shame because of ethics violations. And then when Barack Obama chose Joe Biden as his running mate, we somehow forgot that Biden had withdrawn from the 1988 presidential race in shame because he was caught plagiarizing. So, all these politicians, they're doing their politician stuff, and they just think we forget about this, and they're like, hey, here's a new candidate, rah, rah. We're like, wait a minute, though. Wasn't that the guy who withdrew in shame? Okay, I'm done with that. All right, I'm done with that. I'm all done with that. Let's see, the next story. Let's get off this topic, right? Next story, good for Bitcoin. 2,200 letters of support for Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill sent to U.S. senators. Senator Cynthia Lummis introduced this bill. Cynthia Lummis was at Bitcoin Nashville 2024. I have not listened to her keynote yet, but RFK Jr. laid out the case very strong for a Bitcoin reserve. He made that one of his promises, his campaign promises, when he spoke. And I have to say, and staying out of politics, that RFK Jr. Was very succinct when he spoke about Bitcoin. The guy knows what he's talking about. He owns some Bitcoin, quite a bit if I'm not mistaken. He spoke at the Bitcoin conference last year. I can't remember where. I want to say Florida, but I don't think it was. So, and his promises were very pro Bitcoin and pro crypto. Trump has only come around recently, and whether or not he's going to hold to these promises, we don't know. But there were a lot of politicians at the Bitcoin conference, and they spoke very highly of Bitcoin, and Cynthia Lummis was among them, and she has introduced a bill for a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the U.S. And I don't have this story queued up, but it was not long after the Bitcoin conference that we had the story break that the U.S. government had transferred Bitcoin from their one of the wallets that they seized to move it to sell, right? And both of the major candidates, Trump and RFK, said that they would not sell any of the Bitcoin that the government was currently holding. And then the government turns around and starts moving their Bitcoin around on Monday or Tuesday. So things are going nuts. Politics. We won't talk about it too much. But a lot of people have written letters in support of this legislation. Good stuff for Bitcoin, right? Let's see here. Another good news, feel-good story. Morgan Stanley to offer Bitcoin ETFs to their wealthy clients, as per CNBC. So here we have a very traditional finance company that is now offering Bitcoin to their clients, something that would have been unthinkable back in 2017 or 18 or 19 or even 2020. So things are changing for the better. Markets go up and down, and don't lose heart, right? Good stuff. So let me catch up. I shouldn't have talked politics. I don't care much for politicians in general. Crooked is a politician. Hey, let's see. Will Tangem or Ballet be a good wallet to give teenagers just to hold crypto for their birthday? I have a couple of Ballet wallets. I think they're really cool. And what's nice about them is that you can, they're very easy to use. And let me share my phone with you guys so you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about here. Just give me 1 second to get this thing coming up. Hopefully, comes up without too much trouble. There it is. So yeah, so like for example, I really like this particular Ballet wallet. It comes with a nice case. I think I turned that off. Yeah, I did. So I love this one because they gave this one to me. And it's engraved. Thank you for promoting self-custody. You're amazing, from Ballet. It's a really cool wallet. Now, a lot of people bag on, let's go back here. A lot of people bag on Ballet because they don't trust them. Oh, they're criminals. They're going to steal everybody's crypto. They're just making these wallets so that someday they can steal your crypto, right? Don't trust, verify, right? All this stuff. I believe in don't trust, verify, don't get me wrong. But when we're dealing with, there are certain aspects of self-custody where you want security. And there are also certain aspects of self-custody where you have to put a level of trust in companies. Now, I've talked to the people, good people at Ballet. They have a system in place for generating their private keys. Part of it is done in China, and then the second half of it is done in Las Vegas. There's a separation. And if anyone were to suddenly start draining these wallets, there's only a couple of people that have the ability to gain access to the wallet, and they're pretty high up in the company. So they would immediately be discovered, right? So, anywho, right? A lot of people don't trust them, but I think they're a really cool wallet. And I just want to share this little app with you guys. Basically, it's great for a teenager. It's great for someone that doesn't know a lot about Bitcoin, because you can, not only can you preload it yourself. So if you wanted to give someone a whole Bitcoin or a half a Bitcoin or 10 Bitcoins, you could do it on these because you can load these up. But you can also buy them preloaded. Let's see, where is my, oh, there it is down at the bottom. So there it is, $3.29. And then I also have this coin, which I think is pretty cool. And it's got some Bitcoin on there too. And basically, what I really like about these is it's kind of a hassle to get crypto out. You know, you have to open them up and peel off the sticker that reveals the private key, and then you scan that in to the app to give yourself access, right? So the app allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, right? So if someone gives you one of these and you're like, hey, I don't trust these guys, you can immediately pull it off and put it in somewhere else, right? You could immediately cash out. You have full access back and forth. The only thing is, like, once you peel that sticker off and reveal the private key, it's kind of it's not pristine anymore, right? And you wouldn't want to keep pumping crypto into it if the sticker has already been peeled off. So both of these I still have the sticker on, so they're kind of, to me, they're one way, right? And there have been a lot of days where I was like, I could use some crypto, I'm going to move this around or whatever, and I'm like, I don't want to touch the crypto on the Ballet, right? So yeah, I think Ballet's great. Tangem is also very easy. Why don't we go ahead and unbox this Tangem that we've got? Let's switch over to this camera and pray, not that camera, and pray that it's working. Yay, it's working. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about migration I've got these two wallets here, and I did a video earlier. You've seen me use Alex's ledger several times on the live stream, and I got this really cool Bitcoin Orange Ledger Nano X from the guys at Ledger. I went to that dinner during the Bitcoin conference, and they everybody that came to the dinner got a claim coupon for a Bitcoin Orange Ledger Nano X. So I got it, and I'm just going to use it for Alex's because I think it's really cool. And so I took the seed phrase of this one and ran a restore on this one, and so now they're logically equivalent, and we'll talk about that a little more. But let's go ahead and unbox this Tangem. This is one of their Vivid cards. If you're not familiar, I'll just show you here real quick on this screen. Cameras seem to be working. Mic is not muted. Yeah, so we're in Tangem. No, it's not it. Tangem. Right, if we go to Get Tangem, you can order their regular black cards, which are very nice looking, by the way. And then they have these vivid colors for summer, right? And then they also have pastel, not Pascal, pastel. And then, but they were gracious enough to send me one of these vivid cards. So let's check it out. On it. I'm always forgetting to turn on record because I get a lot of good material that I can use later, and if I record it myself, it's 4K. If I try to re-download it back from YouTube, they give it back to me in like 720p, which is pathetic. I'm a 4K guy, man. All right. I think I got all the other stuff out of the way. Did I? I don't know. Did I? Okay. So here we have the Tangem Vivid. Here's the little label. Let's open her up and see what we got. Like I said, the good people at Tangem were very gracious to send me this wallet. I think it's really cool. And let's see what we got here. Oh, that's nice. So I didn't realize that you got all three colors. I thought that you chose which color you got. And if you chose yellow, you would get all yellow, and if you chose blue, you would get three blue cards. But in this case, they've given you three different cards that are three different colors. Now, you might wonder, oh, well, which one am I going to use as my go-to and which one are going to be the backup? It doesn't matter. The cards are interchangeable. Once you have them all set up, they're basically interchangeable. Now, you can set these up and just use the Tangem system, which is you just set it up, let Tangem generate the private key, and then you'll initialize the two backups, and you will have a card and two backups, right? And this is a good system because it takes the mistakes out of the equation, right? One of the biggest problems people have with crypto self-custody is managing their seed phrase, right? So when Tangem came along, they removed that whole part of it from the equation. This two main purposes that it served. One was it made it much quicker and easier to set the wallet up, right? Every other hardware wallet up to that point, you had to, sit down and pull out the pen and paper and write these words down. Very tedious. It took like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes longer if you've never done it before. And so Tangem, you didn't need to worry about that step. So it made the setup so much easier. And then the other major advantage was that one of the biggest reasons that people lose crypto is that they reveal their seed phrase. They get tricked into revealing their seed phrase, or they don't manage it well. They lose it. They write it down wrong. They write messy. They can't understand what they wrote when it comes time to restore. And then they want to blame the company. Oh, I tried to restore and now I can't. I'm suing. You're like, it was all on you, right? It's all on you. So Tangem eliminated all of that with their system. Which only uses the cards, right? But the drawback to that system is everything is dependent on these 3 cards. So if you lose all 3 cards, you lose all your crypto, and people didn't like that idea. So Tangem came along and added the ability to use a seed phrase. So let's do a quick, I'm gonna see if I can let's see. Is this it? Is this going to work? Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember last week I was having issues with this, but I think I got it back now. All right. Right. That's very nice, right? I want you to be able to see what's going on my phone. Because sometimes I like holding it weird or whatever. So you can just follow along what's going on the phone. So let's go into our Tangem app over here. And basically what we want to do is set up a brand new wallet. Now I'm already managing a couple of different wallets here. There's not much going on in these, but you can add multiple wallet sets to the Tangem app, right? So if we tap the 3 dots there at the top, we want to add a new wallet. So, and this is interesting too. I've never seen this interface here before. They've improved this little wallet card interface because now it indicates, that you can, manage multiple card sets within the settings. They didn't have this before. Before it was just whatever card you held up was the card that you were managing, right? You just had to sort of, but it would just go, bring card up to the phone, and people were confused, right? So now it's a little more, it's laid out, it's a little more straightforward. Let's hit Add New Wallet, and it wants me to scan the wallet. This is NFC technology. I just need to hold the card to the back of the phone. And so let's move these over. These are going to be our backups, and we're just basically dealing with, we could have started with any card, right? It doesn't really matter. Let's see what's going to happen. It's spinning. Let's hope everything works out okay. Okay, I see someone has jumped into the stream with a huge tip that's having a ledger issue. I appreciate that. I'll read that, but this may not be the best forum for me to give you intense one-on-one tech support. I would invite you to shoot me an email, the CryptoDad, one word, the CryptoDad @gmail.com. It's down in the description below. I'm only going to be here alive for another half an hour, and then maybe after that we can go back and forth with email. I really appreciate the fact that you've come in with your issue, and I will read that. I don't know what's going on with this though. I seem to be having an issue with the card. It's not going through the setup. Let's try this one more time. See if we're going to add a new wallet. We're going to scan the card. Thought that it was working okay. Usually it comes up right away. So don't know what to say about this. Probably going to have to like reboot my phone and go through all this later. I wasn't going to set it up completely. Actually, why don't I just set the phone down for a second and see if it's going to like pull up this wallet. I've done this many times. It usually has pulled up the, the add new wallet interface within seconds. So I don't know what it's doing there, churning. Let's go back and see what the question is. Let's see here. All right, so I'll go ahead and pull this up. All right, I have a problem with my ledger where I lost password but have the backup sheet. Okay, bought a new ledger. Would you do a video again to resolve the matter? Let me know how to contact you. I told you how to contact me. My email is thecryptodad@gmail.com. The password. I have a problem with a ledger. I lost my password. I have the backup sheet. You bought a new ledger. Okay, this is a pretty common issue. Okay, so basically, if I understand you correctly, you when you say your password, I'm assuming you're talking about the password to Ledger Live, right? You might not. You might be talking about your PIN, but you might be talking about Ledger Live's password, right? So Ledger Live has a password lock feature, and if you add a password, and then when you launch Ledger Live again, it's going to ask you for a password. Now, this password cannot be reset. If you forget the password, then you cannot use your Ledger Live anymore. But Ledger Live does not hold your crypto. Your crypto is stored on your device. So you don't have to buy a new device if you've forgotten your Ledger Live password. All you have to do is install a new copy of Ledger Live clean and just connect your device to recover all of your accounts. So why don't we go ahead and do that? I have done videos on this before. So let me see if I can just show you the full video. Ledger recover. Let's see here. Here, this one. Okay. So this video covers that situation where you've either forgotten your password for Ledger Live or you've lost your device, your computer, right? So all of the crypto that you have stored in Ledger Live can be recreated from your device, right? And I'll show you how to do that, but this video goes through that. Right? You don't need to buy a new Ledger device unless you're talking about your PIN. If you've forgotten your PIN, then you need to reset your device, and you'll restore from your seed phrase. Right? Even in that situation, you don't need a new Ledger. But I'm assuming you're talking about I'm assuming you're talking about the password to Ledger Live. Oh, lost PIN code on the ledger. Okay. Yeah. All right. So if you did lose your PIN code, then you will need to do a restore. And that's pretty straightforward. Contact me. We'll talk about that as well. Let's see. This one here. Easily restore your Ledger device. Well, we don't need that other one, right? Do we? Let's paste that one in there. Yeah. But please shoot me an email. I'll walk you through this whole process from where you're at. Maybe we could do a Zoom session or something like that. But basically, you do in this, if you've forgotten your PIN, you can reset your device because at this point you have no choice, right? If you've forgotten your PIN. You can restore your existing device with your seed phrase without having to buy a brand new device, but that's fine. Yeah, and in the case of a restore, Basically, you don't have to touch Ledger Live. If you can still get into Ledger Live, then all you have to do is restore the original device with the seed phrase, and then you can just reconnect to Ledger Live and reestablish your accounts, right? You don't need to wipe Ledger Live. I'm assuming you can get into Ledger Live at this point. Yeah, there's so many ways things can go wrong. But let's talk a little bit about, and yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my Tangem app. I'm already managing 3 wallets. Maybe that's why. But yeah, this kind of leads us nicely into our migration demo that I wanted to do. So we have a device. Oh, let's get back over here. And I don't know what I did with the, oh, here it is. All right, so we have a device here. And this device works, right? I know the PIN, I can get into it. The only problem I have with this device is that it's very similar to, I have several of these Ledger Nano X standard issue black and chrome, right? So you'll notice here that I put a label on this one so I can tell it apart from my other ones, right? But I got this free Bitcoin only Ledger Nano X, which I think is really cool. And I decided what I wanted to do was migrate all of the crypto that's being managed on this device and migrate using the seed phrase over onto this device. So this is not a valid seed phrase. Well, it's valid, but there's nothing in it. It's blank. I just generated it as a test in a web browser. You can do that. So it's basically an empty wallet. So don't think that if you use this seed phrase, you're going to find anything. But basically, let's just pretend this seed phrase goes to this device, right? So I have my device, I have my seed phrase, Ledger Live is fine, everything's good. I just have a brand new device here that I would like to start using instead of this, right? So what I want to do is take this seed phrase and unbox this guy, turn it on, set it up, but instead of setting it up as brand new, we're going to do a restore. And using this seed phrase that goes with the other device. Now, I've already done that. I did that earlier. I recorded it, but we'll just assume that I have done that. Right? So now I have this cool device that has been restored with this seed phrase. So let's go over. I'm going to connect it real quick. I'm going to enter the PIN. Alrighty here, and let's go back to this scene. We're having good luck with the cameras tonight. That's good stuff. Let's see if I can move this guy over here and turn this on. That looks good, right? So you can see what I'm doing here. And I'll probably move that down just a tad, but that's fine, right? So we have this device, and we've just restored it, right? Now, a lot of people think, oh, there's something I need to do to Ledger Live, right? I need to do a reset in Ledger Live or something crazy like that. No, I don't, right? I already have the account set up in Ledger Live. So all I have to do is install the apps. I did that earlier as well. So I've skipped over most of the, the part that people will stumble on. They're like, okay, I just did the restore. Oh, and I've heard this one a million times. I restored my device and all my crypto's gone. No, it's not. When you do a restore, the master private key is on the new device, but the device does not know which apps you had on the old device, right? There's no way it can possibly know that. You have to remember which cryptos you were managing on the old device and install those apps on there. There are some clues you can use. The easiest clues are what you already have in Ledger Live. So I've got a Bitcoin account in Ledger Live. So let's do a hardware check, right? We'll go into Ledger Live, we'll hit receive, we'll hit continue, and it asks me to open the Bitcoin app. And at this point, if I did not have the Bitcoin app on this device, Ledger Live would install it for me, right? So even though when I did the restore, it was empty, Ledger Live will install the correct app as I double check these accounts, right? So we'll go ahead and open the app and then let Ledger Live do the hardware check. And watch what happens. The address appears on my device and on my screen. This is a match, right? This lets me know that I have successfully restored this device using the seed phrase of my previous device. Now, both of these devices have access to the same accounts, right? This Alex device, right? A lot of people get confused about that too. They think that when you do a restore using the seed phrase of an earlier device, that somehow the old device gets emptied. It doesn't work like that, right? We're not moving crypto at all. We're just taking the master private key, putting it on a new device so that it can manage the crypto that has always been out there on the blockchain. Right? We're not moving anything. The crypto is out there on the blockchain. This device had access to it. And so we use the seed phrase to restore a new device. Now the new device has access to it. They both do. Right? It didn't empty out the old device. Right? Now you have two devices that work just fine. Right? And we've just confirmed. Now, of course, you would want to go through and confirm all the accounts until you've made sure that you've got this device set up. And now that device, this device in my hand, is my go-to device. So let's go back over here. Oh, now I've got, oh boy, okay. It's kind of sideways, but we'll live, right? Because this is always an issue with me. All right, so we have two devices, right? We have migrated using the seed phrase. We've done a restore on this, but we're considering it a migration, right? Now we've got a new device. Now, Adrian was saying that he forgot his PIN, right? So if you forget the PIN on your device, the only choice you have is to do a full PIN reset. Like you'll try to enter it 3 times, and then it's going to tell you that the device has been reset. At that point, you don't need to run out and buy a new device, but another device isn't going to hurt anything, right? You'll just use that seed phrase and set the old device back up using the restore rather than setting it up as brand new. Another issue, another thing that people do, and I get it, right? Crypto's complicated. These Ledger Nanos are a little like hard to like wrap your heads around, all right? A lot of people, when they do accidentally reset their device, forget their PIN, instead of doing the restore, which is all they really need, right? They've got their accounts in Ledger Live set up. They forgot the PIN on their device. They had to do a reset, and then they freak out. They go buy a new device, or maybe they do, or maybe they don't. They reset their device, and then instead of doing the restore, they set it up as brand new. And when they do that, they go through the initial setup, and the device gives them a brand new seed phrase, which they dutifully write down. Now they have 2 seed phrases, right? And then the new configuration cannot access the old accounts because it's based on a different seed phrase, right? You have created a brand new master private key on your device, and all the wallets on it are empty, and so you cannot access the old wallets. So this happens quite a bit too, and they'll do it over and over again. I've dealt with people that have 3 or 4 different seed phrases, and they can't figure out how to access their original accounts. And so basically, I'll help them out by going through each seed phrase one by one. It's tedious, but you will eventually, if you have not thrown away your seed phrases, discover the seed phrase that gives you access to your original accounts. And then some people wipe Ledger Live after they do a restore because they think they need to do that, right? So crazy stuff that goes on. But let me just show you real quick, for Adrian's sake. Let's go back here. Suppose that, I did wipe my Ledger Live by mistake, right? And I'm assuming that you didn't. Well, let's just assume that we did. If we go into our C drive, into users, and into the name of your Windows account, into your app data folder, which is hidden by default. So you have to just go into view and say show hidden items, right? In your roaming folder is your Ledger Live preferences folder. This is not your crypto, right? But it's the configuration of all of your public accounts, right? Let's just, you can just delete this if you want to, or you can name it back, or, give it a name or whatever. Now there is, whoops. Oh, I already had one. Okay. Oh, this is Alex's, pardon me. Already had a Rex. All right. So let's just assume that you forgot your Ledger Live password. People do that a lot, right? So basically you need to go in here and delete your Ledger Live folder, right? And then when you do that and you launch Ledger Live again, it's going to act like it's the first time you've ever done it. It's hot in Michigan too, by the way, Scott, and thanks for being here. All right, so let's just hit get started. Let's accept all of this. We're going to do Ledger Nano X. Now, we don't, it's not the first time, right? So if all I did was forget my Ledger Live password and I went into the app data folder and into the roaming folder and deleted my Ledger Live folder, it's not the first time I've used the device, right? The device is set up. This is the, I forgot my Ledger Live password scenario, right? But you still have your device. You already have a seed phrase, right? You don't need to do a restore because the device was intact, right? You just forgot your Ledger Live password. All we need to do is connect our Ledger device, right? Okay, there it goes. Let's get this back again. Bring it in. Where is this thing? Okay, there it is. Oh, the kitty. I can hear the cat over there. All right, so we're going to allow a secure connection, so we'll hit both of, so this is an intact device, right? It has all the apps on there. Nothing got wiped. We're just redoing Ledger Live because we forgot our Ledger Live password, right? It runs the genuine check. Good stuff. And we get here. We don't need this. We get here to the portfolio. We've already got the apps on there, right? We don't need to mess around with any of that stuff. We're at a blank Ledger Live. It's like, oh my God, where's all my crypto? It's on the blockchain. You don't have to worry about it. Your master private key is on your device. All you have to do is start adding accounts back, right? Remember, we had some Bitcoin on there, so we'll go to add the Bitcoin account. It tells us to open the Bitcoin app on the device. It's going to scan the device for any existing wallets, right? All of your wallets are stored on your device, right? They can be exported into Ledger Live. Very simple. We're just going to call this one Alex again. Let it finish scanning. And boom, pow. There's that Bitcoin account, right? Now we got our Bitcoin account back. Let's add another account. Let's add that Solana account, right? Right? The device remembers all of your wallets, right? All we're doing is like adding these accounts back into Ledger Live. It wants me to open Solana. We'll do that. Now we're starting to run out of time. Adrian, please shoot me an email and I will help you get through all that. We'll figure it out, right? If I have to call you, I can call you on the phone. But, you know, Google Meet works pretty well. It's free. You know, we can do it on Google Meet if you want to do it that way. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate you throwing money into the super chat. More than I really deserve. But yeah, I can get you straightened out though. All right, so boom, it found my Solana. I'll just call this Solana. All right, we'll hit add account. Boom, we got our Solana back. Let's remember there was Ethereum on there. We'll add the Ethereum. It wants the Ethereum. So if you forget your Ledger Live password, you can simply go into that preferences folder, delete it, right? That's where the password was too. Also, Ledger Live does not force you to use a Ledger Live password by default anymore. And probably the reason why is it's not really that important. It's not really, pardon me, it's not really protecting the crypto so much as it is protecting your computer and your balances from other people logging into your Ledger Live and seeing your balances, but they have no access without the device. But a lot of people freak out when they forget their Ledger Live password. They think they've lost access to their crypto, but they have not, right? All you have to do, reconnect the device, add accounts, you're golden, right? But that is a little bit tricky going into that roaming folder and deleting the Ledger Live folder. But that's really all you have to do if you've forgotten your Ledger Live password, right? Just go in there, wipe Ledger Live clean, and start over and just re-add the accounts. And I would just don't recommend using the password at all, right? You'll notice that it's not there by default, right? You have to go into settings and enable it, right? I wouldn't enable it, right? Password lock. You know, your device has a PIN, your computer should have a password, unless other people are using your computer and you don't want them to see what's in your Ledger Live. It's really not necessary to have a password on Ledger Live. Even if someone gets on your computer and looks in your Ledger Live, they have no access without the device. They can see your balances, so it's more of a privacy thing. Right now, before we're starting to run out of time, but I did want to show you guys this really cool feature of the Ledger Stax. So let's go ahead and let's turn that off. Let's go back to this camera and if everything's back the way it should be. We've got, is it this one? Oh, I think actually it's this one. Yeah. Both of these restore, the restore functionality is the same on the Stax and the Flex, right? Right, so I have, and I'll use this device just because, I'll use this seed phrase. I'm not going to do the full restore. I'm just going to show you. Okay, so when we do a restore, and we restore with our phrase, it's 24 words. On the Ledger Nano X, there were some things that were difficult. So let's go ahead and put in the first word. All right, and then we'll put in the second word. All right, And let's see, let's put in the third word. Some things that you may, let me go ahead and start with this one. Yeah. So what's interesting about the interface for doing restores now is that on the Ledger Nano, if you had got to the fourth word, there was no way to go back to the previous word. There was a clear word that you could use to clear the entire word. Now, you can do that from this guy, from just backspacing back to the beginning, and you can start the word over again. But notice that there's also this little arrow back here. I can go back to word number 3 and redo 3 if I need to. Right? And then we can get into 4. Now, let's say, oh gosh, I looked down at word number 2 and I had word number 2 wrong. Well, with this device, you can go back as many words as you want with this back arrow at the top. I can go back to word number 2 if I want to. You used to not be, you can't do this with a Ledger Nano, pardon me. You can't do this with a Nano. If you make a mistake and you've already advanced to the next word, you can't go back a word or two on the Nano restore interface. You have to finish or you either have to finish the entire sequence and start over again, or I think you can bomb out. Like if you disconnect the device, you can bomb out and start over again. But if you put in the wrong word and advance beyond it on a Ledger Nano, you have to start all over again from the very beginning. So let's say you were on word 21, and then you get to word 21 and you realize, oh, I put word 20 in wrong. You'd have to start all over again. Now you can use this back arrow to go back a word or two. So it's much more convenient. The interface for doing restores has vastly improved now. Makes it so much easier to do it. Now, I know a lot of you aren't doing restores day to day like I do. I was just working with someone, and he had a lot of seed phrases, and he didn't know where they went. And so we had to sit down together and, like, one by one, restore each seed phrase and check which crypto it had access to. And this was extremely tedious. I worked with him for 2 days. The first day I was using my Ledger Nano X, and I believe we worked for about 6 hours the first day, and I got through about 6 different restores and checked for crypto in each configuration. And then the next day I brought my Ledger Stax, and I think I did like 12 in a couple of hours. He had a lot of seed phrases, man. Now, most people don't have that many seed phrases, but they have vastly improved the restore interface on the Ledger Stax and the Ledger Flex. All right. And I talked about this in my comparison video. I'll invite you to go check out that comparison video. The Ledger Flex interface, the screen is smaller. It doesn't seem a lot smaller just by looking at the two devices, but the keypad is a little bit smaller, just a little bit smaller than my fat fingers, right? So the Ledger Stax has a bigger keypad and a better interface over the Ledger Flex. They both have the same security. They both are customizable. You can see I've got my daughter's picture on this Flex. They both support the Ledger Security Key app, so you can't go wrong. If you want a decent device for a lower price, go with Flex. But interface-wise, the Ledger Stax is far superior in many ways. It also supports wireless charging. So, like I said, if you got 10 grand worth of crypto, then you should buy the best device you can afford. Easy to use and secure, right? A lot of people say poo-poo on interface. Oh, I don't care about interface. I just care about my crypto. Yeah, but interface is important, right? Very important. It makes a world of difference. Believe me, I've been using these little ganky button devices for many years, and I am so relieved that now we have a touchscreen interface for doing the stuff I do, right? Let's catch up here. Adrian, once again, thank you so much for those great super chat tips. I hope what I said here will help you a little bit, but I'll be more than happy to shoot me an email, give me a rundown of exactly where you are. You forgot your PIN. Do you still have access to your Ledger Live? Just tell me, give me a rundown of where you stand, and we'll figure out the best way to get you back up and running. Right? You say you got another device, that's cool. We can restore both of them with your seed phrase, and then you'll have mirror backups like I was talking about earlier. Let's see. Everyone, thanks for being here tonight. So many people in the chat. Paul, I'm at Boston Hatch Shell in Boston waiting for the concert to start. Awesome. I'm listening to what Rex is demonstrating. Cool. Scott Lee, my neighbor had a hot rod Chevrolet with a supercharger. Fun as hell, but I'm glad I'm still alive. Oh, okay. Scott bought a Camry. That's cool. Yeah, I was thinking, I won't go into this long description of this situation that I was in, but there was a possibility that I was going to recover a lot of crypto for this guy. And as it turned out, the one wallet that he thought had a lot of crypto in it, that someone had, that he had inherited from someone, that someone had sent to him, didn't turn out to be what he thought it was. But I had the expectation that I might also, he was going to give me a percentage, a finder's fee. And so I had, these hopes that I was going to come in to a good deal of crypto on my own. And I was going over all the scenarios of the things I was going to get with all of this incoming crypto, right? And, like braces for my son, a vacation, all this. But one of the things that came up in my musings was a better car or a brand new car. And you know what? I have a Kia Telluride, and I love it. It has carried me all the way down to Texas. It has carried me. I bought it here in Grand Rapids, but so I didn't drive it from California, but I have driven over to Gettysburg and back. We drove to Toronto and Niagara Falls back. I've taken good care of that car. I'm emotionally attached to that car. Even if I had all the money in the world, I would probably just pay it off and drive it for several more years. It's a great car. I love it, right? So yeah, there are some things more important than money. Let's see, where are we here? I want to thank everyone that was here tonight. We had fun tonight. I wanted to show you some wallets. Hopefully some people got some help here. As I mentioned, please check out that video that I posted yesterday. Let me get this out here. The Ledger Stax versus Flex video. There are subtle differences between the two devices. I try to shy away from making recommendations, but in this particular video, I did recommend the Stax over the Flex. But I did talk about what was the same, just like I did tonight. So it's up to you, right? You have to make your own decisions. I'm not here to just tell you which wallet to buy. But I prefer the Stax over the Flex just because I consider it a superior device and a much better interface. And interface is very important, much more important than most people realize when it comes to using crypto. If you're just, you're hodling crypto and you don't use your device that often, you just kind of open Ledger Live to see, how your portfolio's doing. Maybe you don't think that the interface is that important. But when you're like me and you're doing a lot of demos, you're doing a lot of restores, you're doing a lot of initial setups, migrations, that kind of stuff, where you're really putting the device to work, interface makes all the difference in the world, right? So to me, that's very important behind security, right? Let's see. I just want to make sure that I didn't leave anybody hanging. You need to just make sure you restore MEW device or new device. It doesn't have to be a new device. It can be a reset device, Adrian. Hopefully I made that clear earlier when we were talking, right? If you forgot your PIN, you can reset your device. Your device it'll basically be a factory reset. If you try to enter the same PIN 3 times, it restores as new. Or you can do a new setup or a restore. Either way. Ledger Live is on your old Mac. You haven't opened it in years. Well, looks like we got some work to do. If we do a team chat, it would be great. I've not opened it since 2017. Okay, so it looks like Adrian was asking most of the questions. Please shoot me an email because I can't contact you after the live stream. Once I see someone in the live stream, there's no way for me to figure out what your email. Even though YouTube knows your email, I cannot access it by looking at your profile. I can't even look at your profile after the live stream. You would think that I would be able to click, being my live stream, that I could click on your name and it would take me to your profile. But not. If you leave a comment, I can do that. But the live stream chat is like, I can't touch it after the fact. It's weird. So please shoot me an email or leave me a comment down after. You can't leave comments during the stream, but after the stream, if you leave a comment, then I can reply to your comment, right? But yeah, shoot me an email and we'll get you straightened out. Thank you, Kenny, for being here. Thank you, Dan, for being here. Thank you, Scott, so much. Everyone that was here. Adrian, thanks for those generous donations. We'll get you straightened out. Everyone that came in, Dusted in Shadow, Andreas, Mr. Miskey, Amsterdam, Holland, Simona, Bobby, Mark, everybody that was here tonight, thank you so much for being here. Take heart. Crypto goes up and down. For 3 years, remember this, for 3 years after 2017, whenever I would talk about Bitcoin to people, they would tell me that ship has sailed, that bubble has burst, it'll never see 20,000 again. In 2017, the Bitcoin Ponzi scheme collapsed. You're an idiot for working with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has shot past 20,000 now. We're at 60,000 and everybody's, oh no, Bitcoin's down at 60. What's going to happen now? Panic sell. It's going to crash. Oh my God, it might go down to 55. It might even go down to 50. Oh, so what? Right? For 3 years, people thought it would never see 20,000 again. So put that in perspective, guys. Once again, if you enjoyed this stream, we'll be back again, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday night. Join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. If you like this particular video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me tonight, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Right? Have a good night, everybody.